what to expect when I'm in a cemetery, most certainly not a continuous horn from a train. I never know what to expect when I'm in a cemetery. There's certain energies that you can just feel when you walk into a place. Cemeteries, the best ones to be in are ones, well, I like ones with a lot of activity, but this one feels very still and cold, and like it's just been overtaken by the industrial development around here, and the housing's popping up. It feels like the dead don't really want to come out. More like they don't really feel comfortable manifesting here. They can't roam freely, and there might not be any that want to roam freely at all. But the city pressing in on it really makes it feel like that energy has forced itself onto the graveyard. And you would think that a city's energy wouldn't be cold and still, but when you have a constant vibration that is just constant, buzzing, constant activity, it kind of creates its own leveled out plane, and it feels like that plane it's created through its activity is still, in a way. It's its own environment, its own baseline of activity. So when a city has that kind of activity, it creates its own baseline of this constant activity that we can kind of balance our own energy on top of because it's so constant. Kind of like walking on the ground. Then that energy can just swallow up graveyards. Graveyards should feel cold and still a lot of the time, but it's a different kind of cold and still. It's more of a peace. There isn't a lot of that inherent empty peace that you would expect in a graveyard here, because it's just surrounded by so much. There's this cold, empty peace that you feel when you're in certain graveyards or around dead people a lot. If you work in a morgue, or if you're in a job where you're around a lot of people who are deceased, there's this cold, empty peace. That's the only way I can describe it. I can just describe it in feelings, not really pinning it down. Honestly, whenever I see a graveyard, I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna pull over, unless I really gotta be somewhere. But this one is in Denton, really close to UNT campus where I go, and I'll probably walk around here, get a general feel for a lot of if there's any kind of lingering remnants of the ego that we call ghosts. I guess you could say. I understand ghosts very differently. And then once I have a feeling for a good solid description in my head about this graveyard, I might come back and with a Ouija board or with runes, or I might sit and meditate here. There's things you can do in the cemetery. I assume I can just drive my car in here because there are roads, but I've never been here before. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling now, but I'm gonna take a walk around. I might record some of it for you and just put in extra information, just pack in some video and then put some subtitles and stuff to give extra information that I don't go over here or that I just don't remember right now. But yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I might see you in a sec. We'll see. They say if you find the oldest grave in a graveyard, Baron Samedi is nearby. Baron Samedi might even inhabit that grave in some way or another. This person died, it looks like, at the age of 2 in 1884. So that was a long time ago, so many years ago. But this definitely does feel like a very old, like, little section. Plus, it seems like a lot of the dead grass is centralized around. I mean, it's getting dark around this one spot in the graveyard. It seems like a very old spot of the graveyard. A lot of the time, when people die of like terrible causes, like of course this person obviously did at the age of 2, there's a lot of heartbreak and emotion from family members and from that person's soul before it moved on, and then that can exist as in some form as a kind of ghost or spirit. It's very much connected to the ego as well, and identification separate from the soul. We get attached to, who we are here, and sometimes that creates something like a ghost. If a part of us needs to stay, but our soul can't, it can't be bound here. The soul cannot be bound. Anyway, this definitely feels like the oldest part, and it feels like the part where something is dragging a lot of the energy, the life to it, trying to make a new life for itself. And unfortunately, there isn't enough energy here or anywhere that could do that for it, but it's just trying in vain. And that happens sometimes. It's terrible, but it's true. Anyway, I just wanted to put a little piece of information in there, and I'm going to spend some more time here, but I'll talk to y'all soon.